If someone had told me that the most painful words I'd ever hear wouldn't come from an enemy, but from my own daughter, I would have laughed. But on the day that was supposed to honor my 35 years of service, my retirement day, my daughter leaned in, with the whole family watching, and whispered, "You're only good for your money, old hag," she smirked. She thought I wouldn't do anything. She thought I wouldn't fight back. She thought I'd keep silently paying, silently giving, silently swallowing her insults the way I had for years. She didn't realize that after 60 years of life, I had learned something powerful: the quiet ones always strike hardest. And when I finally struck, she didn't just lose my money. She lost everything she tried to steal from me. My name is Jessica, and at age 60, I thought my biggest challenge would be adjusting to retirement, learning to sleep in, maybe plant a garden, maybe travel a bit. But instead, my biggest challenge became surviving betrayal from the one person I raised with my entire heart, my daughter, Emily. Growing up, she had been sweet, clever, and quiet. But adulthood changed her. Actually, her husband changed her, a leech of a man named Tristan, who looked at me not like a person, but like a walking ATM. Still, despite their attitude, I supported them. Down payments, emergency money, babysitting, bills, loans that were never repaid. You name it, I paid it. I did it because I wanted a relationship with my family. Because I thought generosity meant love. Because I believed that if I just kept giving, she'd come back to me. But nothing prepared me for what happened next. It was a warm Friday afternoon, the kind that feels like a chapter closing. After 35 years working as an administrative officer at the same school district, they threw me a beautiful retirement party: cake, speeches, flowers, pictures, everything. My colleagues hugged me. Parents thanked me. Students I'd helped over the decades came by with sweet notes. It was a beautiful moment. And then, my daughter ruined it. Emily showed up late, wearing sunglasses like a celebrity, holding her phone as if she were bored. Her husband strutted behind her like he owned the place. She walked up to me, barely hugged me, and immediately hissed, "Mom, we need to talk money. Don't make us wait." That I forced a smile. "Emily, this is my retirement party." She rolled her eyes so loudly I swear the entire hall could hear it. "Well, you're retiring, right? That means you're getting a big payout. And Tristan and I decided you're giving us 70% of it." I blinked. "Excuse me." Tristan stepped in with that oily grin. "It's only fair. You don't need it. We have kids. A mortgage. Responsibilities." Before I could respond, my daughter leaned in close, so close I could smell the expensive perfume I had bought her last birthday, and whispered, "Just hand it over. You're only good for your money anyway." Old hag. Then she pulled back and smirked. I felt my heart crack. Not break, crack, quietly. Deeply. Irreversibly. I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I didn't slap her like everyone probably expected. Instead, I smiled. Because in that moment, something inside me hardened. I realized something. For years, they thought I was weak. They mistook kindness for stupidity. They mistook love for obedience. They forgot who raised them. Who survived decades of hard work. Who built everything they were trying to steal. I stood up, clinking my glass. "Thank you all for coming," I said. "This has been the most enlightening day of my life." Emily looked confused. She thought I was embarrassed. She thought I would cave. Oh, how wrong she was. That night, I sat in my tiny living room, surrounded by old photographs, retirement cards, and leftover cake. And I thought. Not about revenge, but about freedom. I pulled out my notebook and wrote one sentence: "No one will ever use me again." Then I began planning. Step by step. Silent. Calm. Methodical. I wasn't going to confront her. That's what she wanted: emotion, drama, manipulation. No, I decided to do something better. That I was going to disappear from her reach and take every privilege with me. Emily and Tristan assumed I'd hand over my retirement lump sum, $185,000. They'd already planned renovations, vacations, new cars, everything. They didn't know that while they were busy insulting me, I was visiting an attorney, a financial advisor, and a real estate agent. All quietly. All without telling them a word. Within 2 weeks, I closed the joint emergency account Emily had access to, removed her from my banking permissions, cancelled every automatic payment I'd been covering for her, stopped sending weekly grocery money, declined all her incoming requests, and blocked her number temporarily. Opened a private retirement account with locked access, but the biggest thing, I changed my will. Instead of leaving everything to Emily, I made a new beneficiary, my sister's daughter, Lily, my sweet, respectful niece who had never asked me for a single cent. And I wrote a legal letter stating why. Financial abuse. Emotional cruelty. Intentional humiliation. That letter was sealed in a safe. Just for the day Emily would try to challenge me. Because I knew she would. I sold my house. Not because I needed money, but because Emily assumed she'd inherit it, and had even told her kids. This will be ours one day, not anymore. I bought myself a small seaside cottage 2 towns away, a quiet place with garden space and morning sun. I moved without telling Emily. The day after I left, she arrived with Tristan, probably to confront me about money. She found an empty house and a "sold" sign. My neighbor, who disliked Emily almost as much as I did, told them cheerfully. "Oh, Jessica moved. Didn't tell you." Wonder why that I heard later that Emily had a meltdown on the front lawn. For months, I stayed silent. And in that silence, Emily spiraled. She had counted on my money. Without it, their mortgage defaulted. Their credit card bills piled up. Tristan's business crashed. They couldn't pay for their kids' school programs. The luxury lifestyle they'd built on my generosity crumbled. And meanwhile, I lived peacefully, drinking tea by the sea, reading, walking, planting flowers. Not once did I feel guilty. Because you cannot feel guilty freeing yourself from people who never saw you as human. 3 months later, Emily showed up at my cottage door. Her hair messy. Eyes swollen. Clothes wrinkled. She looked vulnerable. "Mom," she croaked. "Please. We're drowning. We need your help." This was the moment old me would have melted. But not anymore. I opened the door just enough to look at her. "Emily," I said softly, "what did you call me on my retirement day?" She froze. "Mom." "I didn't mean it." I nodded. "Say the words." She swallowed. Looked at the ground. And whispered, "You're only good for your money. Old hag." Her voice cracked on the last part. "Good," I said. "Because now you understand the weight of what you said." Tears streamed down her cheeks. "Mom, please. We're desperate." I looked her in the eyes, that desperation. I lived it for years emotionally. "Now you're living it financially," she gasped. "So you're not helping?" I smiled softly. "No, Emily. I'm finally helping myself." Then I gently closed the door. She pounded. Cried. Begged. But I didn't open it again. Not out of cruelty, but out of survival. Emily didn't take rejection quietly. She went online, posting dramatic paragraphs. "My mother abandoned her family, she left us homeless. She cares more about strangers than her own grandchildren, she has money and refuses to help." People believed her, at first. Until I posted my own calm, factual response: "I raised my daughter alone. I supported her financially for 15 years into her adulthood. I paid for her home, utilities, childcare, debts, and emergencies. On my retirement day, she whispered in my face, "You're only good for your money, old hag." She no longer has access to me, or my money. I attached no insults. No drama. No emotion. Just the truth. The internet turned on her instantly. Her friends messaged me apologies. Her in-laws did too. Even some of her own followers asked, "You said that to your mother? How could you?" No wonder she cut you off. Emily deleted her posts. But the damage was done. A month later, she visited again, calmer this time. She didn't scream. She didn't beg. She didn't insult. She simply asked, "Mom, why did you love me so much?" And I didn't see it, that question that broke me. I let her inside. We sat at the little wooden table in my kitchen, the one facing the window that overlooked the sea. For the first time in years we talked. Really talked. I told her everything I had felt, the loneliness, the exhaustion, the hurt, the manipulation. She cried. I cried. But reconciliation doesn't happen in a single conversation. It isn't a switch. It's a long road. Over the next 6 months, Emily tried. Really tried. She apologized. She distanced herself from her toxic husband. She attended therapy. She changed her tone. She respected boundaries. She visited without asking for money. It wasn't perfect. But it was honest. And slowly, we rebuilt something, not what we used to have. But something healthier. I forgave her. But I never reopened the financial cord. Forgiveness does not mean returning to the old wounds. She understood. And for the first time, I saw maturity in her eyes. 1 year after my retirement, I wrote a letter and gave it to her. "Open this when I'm gone." Inside it, I wrote, "Emily, you will not inherit my wealth, but you will inherit my story. And I hope it teaches you that respect is worth more than money." Everything, my house, savings, investments, still goes to my niece Lily, the only one who treated me with kindness in my darkest times. But Emily will inherit something more valuable, the knowledge that love is not a currency. And mothers are not ATMs. If you're watching this, hearing my story, wondering whether you're being used, ask yourself, do they love you? Or do they love what you give them? Because the moment you stop giving, you'll know the truth. I learned it on my retirement day. When my daughter sneered in my face and called me an old hag, and I responded not with rage, but with silence. Silence that saved my life. And maybe, silence that saved hers too.